That would be perception. So let's do a.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, guys.
Lovely.
A burp happened. I apologize.
9 plus 4, it's a 13.
13, no. You find nothing else in the room. I mean, you're examining this edge of the room. Like I said, you see an alcove back here, but it's completely iced in. You don't see the wall structure of the place beyond here. And there doesn't seem to be any other features in this room except for the 2 stalagmites coming up out of the ground with creatures in them.
Okay.
Pew! Adric, what up?
I'm sorry, I found the flick command. It was adorable.
Oh my god, stop that. What's up?
I flicked this.
You know what?
Okay, so if it looks like everybody's got this room on hand,
I forgot to turn off table flip, but now it's off, so.
I wasn't even thinking about it either.
Like hell you weren't.
I'm gonna head back this way.
Okay.
Now everybody's flicking things across the table.
Eldove.
Alright, I'm going to tear my gaze away and kind of search through this thing too. In this alcove, can Ian see well into this alcove?
There's no moving into this alcove. It is totally iced in.
It's
solid
100%
mass.
ice.
Yes.
Is it translucent ice or opaque ice?
No, it's not cloudy like the ice outside. This is perfectly translucent. It looks like the same with the 2 creatures here, but you can see through it and then see the form of the wall forming the back of the alcove.
But there's nothing else encased in that ice?
No, not that either of them can see. I mean, if you want, go ahead and make a perception and investigation check, but no matter how high you roll, there's not going to be anything else in there.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna search this room.
To search the room completely, you'd have to break the sunlight. You can't get to this half of the room without walking through it.
The search of the room I can without breaking the sunlight.
Go ahead.
As of yet.
Just gotta get out of Nodal's way there.
13.
So, I mean, you can search the southern half of this room, you can search the 2 stalagmites coming out of the floor, and you can look in this alcove here, but it's the same story on the other side. It's translucent ice, but the alcove itself is inaccessible. This is where the ice is densest inside of this cavity, of this shell.
Okay.
I will ask Fred over my mind link. Any ideas? Ever heard a story about anything like this?
Over the mind link, you say?
Yeah.
Fred rubs his bald head for a moment, and he's regarding the woman in the ice block. If I had to guess, looks like a sea witch. And he starts spinning off a tale of an ancient sea witch who rides around the oceans from ship to ship, stealing men's souls. Until you interrupt him or cut him off. He'll sit here for hours telling the story. How many rounds do you spend listening to him?
Is there anything useful in this story?
You have no idea what's useful and what's not. It's just a story.
I'll let him go. I mean, for right now, I mean...
for how long? In terms of minutes?
Well, how long are they spending in the room searching?
One round.
I mean, once we're ready to move on to the room, I'll just be, okay, I think I got it, Fred.
So we'll say a full turn?
Yeah, I mean, once we're ready to move on.
Okay, so what do you take as your next action?
Am I back to me again?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to stay here, or... like I said, I think if we search the rest of the area, we might either get information or some way to free them, and then we can come back here. I just want to make sure there's nothing else hostile in here.
Are we still... is it still Tarin's turn, or are we kind of like...
You can talk whenever you want.
Yeah.
Is there anything... Do you get anything on the mind phone with these guys?
I can try. I'll try and see if I can make mental contact with the prince. I'm not gonna try with Hag.
I would try the prince first. This woman looks scary.
All right, Brick. So I'll try and see if I can get anything.
He's not conscious.
He's probably unconscious.
Okay.
Well, that's good news at least.
Are you guys good? Should we continue? We'll come back. And I say that specifically looking at Eldove.
You guys want to hear something funny?
What's funny?
I designed the resolution of this dungeon to have 4 or 5 different endings depending on what you guys did, and you've got the dungeon into a state right now that none of them apply. None of them at all. It's great. I love
the best. We're
all
best.
improv from here on out.
We're the best at D&D, Brick Road.
So let's speed this up a little bit. I mean, are you guys going to search the rest? Where are you going next?
I want to go to 5 next and look through one of these 2 passages. And at this point, if I'm carrying a torch, I'm willing to be in front.
That's fine. Everybody who's going with Tarin, go ahead and put your... I'm going to say it took 2 rounds to get that far.
I'm just going to take 1 round here, and then I'm going to follow them.
Okay.
I'm going to just make a quick Sorcerer's history check to see if I can remember anything about, like, that sunlight between the 2.
Make your history check, then make an Arcana check. Make both a DC 20.
Alright. History.
You failed history. No good at history.
Harder. Ooh.
Look at that
Natural
shit.
20 for Arcana.
You think back to your studies, trying to figure out if you know anything from magical history, looking at this, and you can't. Nothing springs to mind. But listening to the story that Fred began to tell before Tarin very rudely cut him off, mind you, like he could have gone on and on. It would have been wonderful, but very rudely. But you seem to remember a ritual that was explained to you many years ago about sea witches who would drink men's souls. And you remember seeing a diagram or a description of a ritual in one of your books. And you look at the sunlight and you see, when you focus on it, you see like a pattern of waves passing from the prince to the old woman. And looking at the shape of the room, you see that the 2 stalagmites are positioned in such a way that there's a very specific amount of distance and direction between them. So what you're looking at is some kind of magical link between the 2, and you're thinking if you were to cut the link, it would disrupt the spell.
Well, that seems like an excellent idea to me.
Especially with no backup, right? Because
Yeah.
they're all looking for loot, so...
But no, we're
Yeah.
making sure that the rest of the place is safe, and we're going to come back here and do it last. I mean, that was exactly what I said.
Well, but
Yeah.
Eldove doesn't have to listen to you.
No, he
You ain't his captain. He's just a passenger. So what do you do, Eldove? Well, you know what? That was
So-
your action. Let's do one more over here. Because these guys are coming over up into this room, right?
Yeah, I'm taking. I mean, at this point, can I
So
see into this
they're
chamber?
halfway, right? Because they made it 1 action. So they're still pretty close.
That's true. I did say it would take 2 rounds to get over here, so we'll give you 1 more round in here. Well,
So
but on the other hand, it lets you make 2 rolls, so you actually spent more than 1 action in there pondering it. So I'm gonna open up this room first, and we'll come back to you in a second. You see this big open space beyond the and you see some of the cards actually are hanging in midair now. That's cool.
Yeah, I noticed I could accidentally see under a few of them earlier, but I didn't look.
That's all right. That's fine.
I didn't peek.
There's really nothing to see, to be honest. Let me get the description of this room. This room looks like a hatchery. You approach this chamber, and the walls give way again to very thick, solid ice all around the walls. In the center of the room are 2 large, dome-shaped bone cages. They've been opened up. These clearly are where the ice snakes were housed earlier on. And in the ice, when you look into it, like I say, it's translucent. You can see all the way back to the wall. But inside of the ice, every couple feet or so, what only looks to you from this distance like air bubbles, fist-sized pockets of air inside of the ice, go every 5 or 8 feet along the entire circumference of this room. Other than that, the room is featureless and empty. So that's what you see, guys, when you get there. Now we're going to go back up here, and Nodal will make the most critical action of his life. Let me get all my dice to roll for damage. 1, 2, 3, 40. Okay, I got 40, 12, Nodal. Go ahead.
Remember, you have plot immunity.
Clack, clack, clack.
You should throw that gunpowder barrel in there.
No, you scored a nat 20 on that Arcana roll. You think, I mean, you're as close to certain as you've ever been that it's you're watching life energy pass from one creature to the other, and all you have to do is break the visible chain of it, and it will disrupt the spell. And you're just looking at sunlight. Sunlight is the medium by which this life energy is passing.
I'm going to take out my shitty pair of clothes from my pack.
Okay.
After shouting to everyone else that I remembered something about this and I need to break the spell.
Oh, Scott.
What do you actually shout? You got... I mean...
I shout, that I remember
Well, hold
something
on.
about
Before you say that, let me point out, if you shout loud enough for them to hear you, it will echo through the entire place. And there's still a lot of cards on the table here.
Listen, I've been casting firebolts through this entire cave. If
All
anyone
right.
thinks gonna hear us,
That's true.
so I'm going to shout loud enough that they can hear me.
Okay.
That I remembered something about this ritual, and I need to break the spell.
Okay.
And then I'm going to break the path with my shitty clothes.
I'm going to yell out, do you know what will happen when that happens?
No.
Just to clarify, saying something or shouting something is a free action. Having a conversation is not.
Let us, okay.
So he shouts out he's going to break the
No,
spell,
That's the only other thing.
and now you've got time for an action. So how do you take your a tunic out and kind of hold it up over your head and break the wave, or are you like?
Yeah, I hold it out in such a way that it breaks the wave.
Okay, and you do that, and which way are you facing? Are you facing Humberth, or are you facing the old woman?
I'm facing Humberth.
You're facing Humberth. You break the wave, and immediately you see the ice encasing him melt very, very rapidly. Like within a matter of seconds, it's down below his shoulders. We're back over here. Let's get back on the turn order. Well, I guess we don't need the turn order right now. But let's go back over here. What's happening on this direction?
Dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's good. That's fine. Everybody's dashing back?
I gave
2,
everyone a look
3,
like, what
4,
the hell is he doing
6,
before when he
7.
said that.
1, 2, 3.
And then, yeah,
Yeah,
Zook can move a little faster.
Okay.
Zook is getting about here, I think.
Okay. Zook, from your position, you can barely make out one side of Humberth, and you see the pillar of ice around him melting very rapidly.
I tell the crew what I see. I just say it at this point.
Okay. And we're back around to, that was Fred. Tarin, you get the next action. Let's go back to the turn order here.
I'll move in closer, and is anything happening to the other ice pillar? Can I see it from here?
You can't see that without actually walking into the room from that angle.
I'll have to dash then.
Okay. And when you walk in, by the time you get in the room, the ice pillar around Humberth is down to his waist, and his body's starting to slump forward. The same thing is happening to the old woman. It's down around about her neck, and you see the visage on her face, which last time you looked was very tranquil and serene, is starting to scrunch up and look more and more wretched, like she has a bad taste in her mouth, kind of. Zook!
Alright, I'm going to run to about here and take cover because I got a bad feeling about this.
Got a bad feeling? Okay. Adric.
And it's a
And
19.
then movement will get me about up there.
Okay. Eldove.
Is the prince free yet?
If you don't take an action to... Oh, I didn't see Zook there. I'm sorry. You're a short little guy. Fred didn't
Damn
mean to
it.
knock you over. If you don't take an action to reach forward and grab me, he will slump over onto the floor.
I'm gonna say,
Alright.
Fred, get him out of here.
He's
I'm gonna-
unconscious, he's missing an arm, and he's butt naked.
I'm going to pick him up and carry him out of the room.
Okay. Does anybody else aid him with this? Because he'll get out faster if somebody else helps him out. We don't need to be on the strict turn order for them at the moment.
I told Fred to.
Okay, yeah, Fred will help with that. So you and Fred get him out, but I mean, he is... Like, he's cold to the touch, he's breathing very weakly, and he's got a grievous
If you have any
wound.
healing left, give it to him.
I mean, his arm, it doesn't look like it was even a clean cut. It looks like it was torn out of the socket right at the shoulder. He's looking pretty bad. Like, if any of you suffered this injury, I'd make you roll a system shock roll. But Humberth is made of tougher stuff, especially his butt. You can bounce a quarter off of that apple bottom.
Humberth is prince.
Right. So what you have to do is kiss him and you'll turn
Only
into a
apple
frog.
bottom.
At this point, the old woman starts to stir. Her ice block has melted down to about around her leg. She starts to stir, and she sees all of you in the room. Who has line of sight to her? Zook, you cannot see her. Adric, you can see her. Tarin, you can see her. And none of these guys will be able to see her. That's fine. This is fun. We're going to go back on the turn order at this. We're going to start with Tarin. Just because that'll be easiest, I think. What was... I rolled her initiative at the start of the dungeon. Where was she at? 5. I didn't roll that shitty. Come on. Ooh, caps lock is on. That's not good. Okay. And she looks at you, and the visage on your face, Adric and Tarin both. It's one of the most horrible things you've ever seen. You've never seen a living creature this horrifically ugly. You both need to make a whiz save. DC 11.
Fail.
You failed?
DC 11? Yeah.
You both failed. This is the most terrifying thing you've ever seen in your life, and your whole mind is consumed with nothing but the idea of putting as much distance between you and this creature as possible. What this means is you're both frightened. You have disadvantage on all checks against this creature, and you cannot willingly move towards her. You must move away from her.
Am I compelled to move away from her? Or
you are. You can stay put if you want, but you can't move closer. Mm-hmm. And any attacks or anything against her are made at disadvantage. Does she get advantage against you? I don't think she does. Okay, but on your next turn, you'll be able to make that save again.
Okay.
Which, right now, it is... Well, technically, it's Fred's turn right now, because the woman just... her action was waking back up.
So it's Tarin's turn?
Fred is tending to the prince, so yes, it's Tarin's turn.
Cast False Life.
Cast False Life.
He leaves screaming in ways that only people who have seen the true madness and not been afraid of it can scream.
And you are accustomed to seeing maddening, horrific things, but this is a new level beyond anything you've ever questioned. What'd you get on your False Life?
Got the full 8 that time.
The full 8? Twinkie motherfucker, look at this guy.
Alright, whatever this thing is, Oh, no, it's Zook's
Not
turn.
your turn. Zook's turn.
I'm just making the Mr.
Zook.
Game & Watch Bell sound, actually.
Okay.
Tarin comes tearing ass out of the room, screaming. And when he gets behind you, you see he kind of regains his composure just enough to cast his Munchkin spell again.
Also, sheet white.
I don't know what's in there, and I'm pretty sure I don't want to know what's in there, so I'm going to stay right here and ready my bow.
I don't know. That gnomish curiosity. Are you using PC knowledge, McClain? Did you fail your second PC knowledge? No, I'm just fucking with you. You're fine. You can ready your bow. So, yeah, well, if you're readying an action, tell me the trigger and the action.
If that old woman comes around this corner,
fill her with arrows.
I'm just got no. Fuck no. A whole lot of no. If she comes around that corner.
Let's just see how much milk he has when...
You just get the word no screamed in your head over and over again for the whole 6 seconds for everyone.
So let's see how much... Alright, so if he's ready his action...
That's Eldove's
I got a readied action.
Prestidigitation.
What's your readied action?
So what is your readied action? What's the actual action?
My readied action is to launch an arrow if she comes around the corner.
You see any part of the witch, you're going to put an arrow in. Okay, Adric.
If first... I can see, so that'd probably be anywhere in here.
Tarin, did you make another wisdom save?
Not yet.
Go ahead and do that because you took it. Because you took it into your turn. And Adric, go ahead and make your action and then your wisdom save.
All right, she gonna get a dart, and then I'm gonna get the hell out of dodge.
All right, I passed.
You passed. So you shake off the fear. Adric, you are disadvantaged.
Yeah, so disadvantage, it was a 16, and my disadvantage roll is a 2. So, boom!
You hit AC what?
I hit an AC 12.
Oh, but you rolled a 2,
rolled at a disadvantage.
You try to throw a dart, but it doesn't even make it out of your hand. You just drop it and clatter to the floor, and you turn ass and run. And now you can make a wisdom save to try to shake off the fear.
DC, wisdom save is +3, so 14.
14? Okay, so yeah, you kind of shake it off too. You're fine now. I mean, you almost feel silly for being so frightened, but your pants feel a little heavier now.
Well, damn it.
Eldove.
Alright, I'm going to take the prince with me.
Now,
move 1,
before you do that, the prince is no longer encased in ice and he's bleeding out, and I'm making death saves for him. What you can do in this case is make a medicine check, DC 10. Or no, it's not even a medicine check. Just make a D20 roll, DC 10, and you can stabilize him immediately. Then it's safe to move him. Otherwise,
is
I've got
Fred
him.
still helping him?
He is, but right now I've got 2 death saves failures for Humber. So if he fails another one, he's going to bleed out and die.
Oh, Jesus.
So before you try to move him again, you should probably get him stabilized. Fred will also try to stabilize him if you fail. So,
Alright, yeah, I'm absolutely going to stabilize him.
do you have medicine as a skill? Or a healer's kit? Anything like that?
No, I don't have anything like that.
You could also give him a health potion to stabilize him immediately and give him hit points. Bring him back to consciousness.
Does anybody near me have a health potion?
I have 1 health potion.
Do you ask out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. Fred does not have one, though.
No, I burned mine earlier.
You just hear no, 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 no screamed back in your head.
I have one. But I'm still in hiding, so I just kind of give him. I wave at him.
Okay. Well, if you're in hiding, you can't wave at him because he can't see you.
Well,
But so yeah, Zook says yes, I have one, but it's not. I mean, you can move over to Zook, get the health potion, and come back. I'll let you do that in one turn because he's standing right next to you. But Zook will have to come out of hiding so you can see him. Otherwise, you got to make a perception check, and that's the whole thing.
Well, if I head over there, Zook, are you gonna come out of hiding?
yeah, no, because I realized the severity of the situation. So
No, that's fine.
I come out of hiding and say, "Hey, I got a healing potion."
So you go ahead.
Alright, I head over there, I grab that, I use the healing potion.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and erase one of your healing potions, Zook, and you roll
I'm down
2d4 plus 2. Eldove.
Alright. That's 3.
Okay.
It's the number that's not showing, right?
Yes.
No, it's the
Wait.
number on the bottom of the die. That's a 2.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, sorry. I
So-
misread how you saying that.
So yeah, you tip this potion back in his
6
throat.
plus 2, so 8.
Tip his head back, up end the health potion, massage his throat so it goes down. And you see his eyes start swimming a lot around in his head, and he starts coming to. The wound on his shoulder, the magic of the health potion takes effect, and it starts stitching together the muscle and the bone of the shoulder, but, I mean, his arm is gone. There's no saving that. Alright.
Do I still have 2 movement?
Do you what?
Do I still have 2 movement?
Where was Zook? Here?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright. I am going to just use it to put the prince down in this crevice here.
Kind of move him over. Okay. I mean, he's shivering very badly. It's frigid in here, and he is very much nude. Dangly bits all hanging out. It's
Well,
weird.
I am holding a pile, like a pile of clothing.
Okay, so
Can
you're
I put
drape him
the
over him?
clothing on it?
yeah, you drape.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll take you a couple actions
Yeah,
to
like
get
I
him dressed.
can't put it on him, but I can.
Yeah, you go ahead. You drape the cloak over him. You put the pile of clothes on the ground, so he doesn't have to sit his naked ass on the ice of the ground. But yeah, you make him as comfortable as could be expected.
Okay.
You hear the voice coming from the cave, pleading. This grotesque voice, pleading for mercy. Please, please, don't kill an old woman. You wouldn't kill an old woman. She walks
God.
up here.
Um,
Zook
sorry, old woman.
and Eldove. Eldove is not looking at her, but Zook, I'm going to say is because you're right next to her.
Well, I had a ready to action for this too.
You did. Go ahead and take it.
Okay. Oh wait, do I have to do a hit die on a ready to action, or is it hit?
No,
Yeah,
you have to
you
roll,
have to-
roll the hit, just like
If you're
standard
not
attack.
hit, and I think you're not hidden anymore, right?
He is not.
I'm
He
not
came out of
hit
hiding.
anymore. All right, so it's 18 will be the hit,
Okay,
and the
8.
damage I rolled would be 7.
7 damage?
Yeah.
She pleads for mercy. You hear the pleading, and you turn around, and when you see her coming up, awful, awful form of this woman, you almost don't even fire consciously. Like, you just let go of the arrow and it flies and buries itself in her chest. Right between her horrible witch breasts. It's awful. Sagging down, dragging on the floor. Oh my god. And she starts bleeding this thick, green, ooze-like blood. And at the sight of the attack, her face turns from pleading to immediate, just vicious anger, and she just scowls a curse in your direction. And you do need to roll a wisdom save, DC 11.
Does this count as a magic attack?
This note does not. Well, let me think. Yes, it does.
Okay, well, I have advantage on that, actually.
On what kind of magic attacks, specifically? Let me check.
I have Gnome Cunning, which gives me advantage on Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma on magic attacks.
Then yeah, you would roll this with advantage.
Okay.
You're fine. This does count as a magic attack. I'm going to rule it does. I don't know if it does or not, but I'm going to rule that it does, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. I
I
think that's reasonable.
She's a fey creature. The snakes earlier were elementals, not fey, so I ruled that they were not magic. That was natural cold coming off of them.
Alright, so that's 11 plus Wisdom for me is...
DC was 11, so you passed. This is the most horrifying thing, and you come from the woods, so you've heard stories of, evil, disgusting-looking witches that live in the woods and in the Underdark and etc. And you think that you're identifying one of these creatures now, but you see that it's mortal. I mean, you put an arrow shaft deep into its chest, and I mean, she's not dead, but she's grievously wounded, and you can also tell she's in a weakened state because the ritual was interrupted. She didn't get the full benefit of that ritual. So I mean, you're horrified at the visage, but you're not terrified. You can see, yes, she's horrible, but she's mortal. We can wound her.
Okay.
Adric.
No,
All right.
That was my reaction. That was my ready.
That was your reaction. She does get. Thanks for reminding me. She does get to take an action. Thank you.
Yep.
That was my instinct arrow.
What is your AC? That'll just barely hits.
Damn.
That was a lot of dice.
7 damage. That was 2 dice. Don't exaggerate. 7 damage. She comes at you with these wicked-looking claws. It looks like she's got talons on each of her hands, and she slashes out blindingly quick, aiming for your throat with both hands, and gets you both times. And you've got deep gashes along your throat.
Okay.
It was
fun.
pretty awful.
You
Yeah.
said 7?
7.
Okay.
You still had you were at max HP, weren't you? Yeah, you're
I was.
fine. But yeah, you took some hard damage. So who has not made the save? Oh, Fred needs to make a save.
Yes.
He passes. Okay. It's Fred's turn. Fred does not have a ranged weapon, I don't think.
They have Vicious Mockery.
He does. He has a crossbow. He does have Vicious Mockery, but... Actually, that's a cantrip, isn't it?
I think so.
In this situation, though, I think he would go with the crossbow.
Okay.
What's his line of sight like? Because he just watched Zook put an arrow in her. You know what, Zook? Fred's going to... I mean, he doesn't have a good shot on her, though. See, yeah, Vicious Mockery might not be a bad idea from Fred's point of view. But again, though, I didn't look up what the spell... I wrote it down, but I didn't put what it does on the sheet, because I'm a bad DM. Seriously, I don't think you guys should ever...
I think it's a save and then D4 damage and
D4 damage
on
and
the attack.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So let's see if she makes the
I don't
save.
remember the save type.
And she saved. It's a wisdom save. And
Okay.
wisdom is her best score, so... Actually, it's not. Constitution is her best score. But anyway. Yeah, Fred lets out this vicious ream of mockery and insults. I mean, he's making notes of her horrible, saggy breasts and... disgusting, maggoty cooch, and just all these horrible-sounding obscenities filling your ears with hilarious but disgusting jokes that you would never, ever repeat around your own mother. And she completely ignores him.
Damn.
Do not even see to, like... She's like, you can call me ugly? That's what you got? Come on, brother, bring it on.
I'll
Tarin.
give Fred a fist bump.
So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
you
go
have
ahead
range.
and move Zook out of the way. and you hear something in your head. You see Tarin's lips moving at first as he starts to shake off the compulsion, and he turns around and he draws his sword, and at the end you can hear him say it both in your heads and it's only 3-dimensional. It's only 3-dimensional, and then he makes a swing.
Go ahead. I love it. You're looking at AC
Only
12.
three-dimensional.
That's gonna. Do I still have that die? That hits actually.
Okay.
For 4 damage.
4 damage. Okay, and you bring the sword down, and you're used to when you fought off orcs and whatnot with a sword play during your adventuring days, but you bite into her flesh, but you don't get doesn't feel like you put strength into this swing, but it doesn't feel like it bites very deep. It doesn't completely glance off. You definitely did some damage, and again, the slash going across her belly starts oozing this thick, just viscous liquid.
Actually, I've never used a sword before in my life. The knowledge was granted to me by the ancient old ones when I picked this one up.
Works for me. So yeah, and that knowledge from the madness beyond comprehension. If I were to swing this the same way with the same amount of strength as a human, I would probably cleave him to the spine. But you don't get into her spine. You give her a flesh wound. Zook.
See, that was 13.
Okay. That's fair.
Is this little black dot counting as an obstruction
Yes,
for
it
an
does.
arrow? So that gives her an AC 2, or how much?
I would rule that as half cover. You could move into this square, though. You could squeeze into there, and then...
Yeah. Why don't we do that? Let's squeeze in here, and then since I'm close enough, I'm actually going to try to take a swipe at her with my rapier.
Okay, and if you hit, you will get the bonus damage because Tarin is right next door.
Will.
Should I,
Look
should I
at
make
that
an Arcana
shit.
check
Look at
to
that
identify
shit.
that resistance?
No.
Okay.
Booyah!
Man, bow and sword. We got a leg loss over here.
If this doesn't kill her, I will be surprised. Because he's going to get 2 d8s plus his bonus plus his d6.
Oh, I didn't see the 20. Nice.
Alright,
He
so
got the
that's
20.
3 plus 3, so those both get the bonus?
No, just add the bonus once. So you got 6 plus your bonus, which I think is plus 3.
Yeah. So I got
9 plus
So
the
I got
d6
9.
for sneak attack.
9 plus... Ooh, only 2. So
11.
it's 11 total.
Kind of a low roll on your end. I mean, I would have rolled much higher if it were me. But everybody has their own life decisions. It's okay.
Oh, and then well, assuming that doesn't kill her, I book it the hell out of there.
Yeah, take a disengage action, then you can move 4 spaces back. Well, 3 spaces,
Okay.
because you moved 1 space in.
Okay, so
can
1,
get there.
2, 3.
You can disengage.
So yes.
So you
Disengage.
flush out with her dagger, and I mean she's facing Terrence. You get her across the butt cheek, and again, I mean you definitely struck her, and you feel like this was a mighty hit. You feel like you put all your weight back into it, but you don't get as deep as you feel like you should have. And again, her butt starts oozing this horrible green blood.
Ew.
And other things that I won't mention. Adric.
Alright. Out of the way. Out of the way, crazy man.
You swap spaces with Tarin?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't have to knock
Yeah,
him over. That was
You
rude.
ruined us all.
I know, right?
Okay.
And uppercutting time.
Do it. Clobber her.
It's clobbered. Nat 20.
Oh my god.
These
Is
dice
it-
are fixed.
Is it possible to do less than 6 damage here? Is it possible at all?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it is possible, but I just rolled a 4 plus my 5. Or
That's,
plus my... How much damage? did I-
you
Yeah. You
You
just
were-
uppercut her head off.
you did. You give her an uppercut and get her square in the chin, and you hear a sickening crack somewhere inside of her body. Her tongue lolls out of her head, and her big, pointy hook nose just bends off to the side. The eyes roll in the back, glassing over. And she slumps over on the back of the ground with a wet hit. Is she down? That's it.
She down.
See me shake my arm out like... that felt weird.
All right, and we are done with the initiative order now. For now.
All right, I cast Prestidigitation on the prince's clothes that I draped over him to warm them for the next hour.
Okay. And at this time, he's actually come around to consciousness, and he's kind of taking in his surroundings, and he sees you see a mixture of confusion and pain on his face. And he looks up, and he's like, Eldove, is that you?
Yes, it's me, friends. Don't worry, we'll get you out of here.
I can't feel my arm.
Don't worry about it, you'll be fine.
He reaches up with his left arm. And he
That is such
reaches
a
up for your
answer.
hand. Says, I trust you.
Don't worry about it.
He says, I think I'm fine to walk.
I'm going to just help him up and
Okay.
like kind of drape that arm that he does have over my shoulder.
Okay.
We still have to search for the rest of my crew. I'm going to look over these corpses, the remains in here, and see if there's anything that I could identify from any of them.
Do a perception or investigate check, whichever you have that's higher.
Is investigate int?
Yes, investigate is intelligence and perception is wisdom.
Oh, they both suck. Yeah,
And
I
you-
don't.
You do a quick scan around the room, and you don't recognize any of your missing people.
Okay.
I mean, again,
I'm
though,
also gonna,
you're not looking for
some
heads
body
in
parts. I'm also going to search with detect magic,
here, and you get the same reading as before. The entire shell is magical, but
but no specific objects.
I mean, there were no other objects in here.
Okay.
Just the bodies in the
Oh,
walls.
I thought they were like. Oh, that's right, because all the bodies are naked, right? It's just
Right.
body parts.
magic on the witch.
There are piles of bones and things, but I mean, the witch's corpse technically counts as magical. But what, Destil, what is your intention with the witch's naked corpse? Nothing good. Okay.
Only three-dimensional.
So what's the next move here?
I think we should investigate the rest of the place, though I do understand we have to keep the prince in safety. And I
Yeah.
don't necessarily. I don't think putting him out on the ship would be the best. On the boat would be the best thing. But that's all we can get him back.
Well-
I'm still looking for the rest of my crewmen.
He's warmed up. He looks relatively healthy considering, and he's walking under his own power. But
That's
Eldove
good.
insists on having him lean on him. So I mean, he can move at the same speed you can. I mean, you're not
We can,
putting him out.
I just don't want to put him in the line of fire if we get into a fight. Why don't we stash him in room 4 with the door locked?
You have no way of locking the door because Zook physically removed bones from the rib cage
Okay.
until it fell open. So unless you know how to
Yeah.
reconstruct the door,
You could probably barricade it with some of this junk that's in that room, like this
Yeah.
barrel.
Yeah, like that barrel. That'll be fine.
We still have to investigate that room for stuff. I didn't write it down because I was unconscious when you went through it. So.
that's fine. That's fine. Do you want me to go
Yeah,
through it
do that
again?
The
sound
only
good?
thing.
Eldove, does that sound good to you? And you, Your Highness?
Yeah, I'm going to explain to the prince that we need to help look for the missing crewmen because you were so essential to rescuing him.
He nods. He
uh,
says, I will give them whatever aid they need, although in my condition, I don't know what I could provide.
I hate to be that guy, but I will have to go in 20 minutes sharp because that's when Michelle starts work.
Okay.
This BT dubs.
That's fine.
Okay. So I would like to look at this room a little bit better
Room 10?
before we finish the place up. I'd
gonna
like to
come-
see if there's anything in any of those air bubbles.
Look in the air bubbles again. Perception or investigation, whichever you have that's higher. Which
They're
I think
both terrible.
they're both terrible. Okay.
You want me to take a look at it? I've got
Look
pretty
at
good
that.
perception.
They
Uh,
are. That's a 2.
You forget to open your eyes. Zook,
Yeah,
what'd
if
you
you want
get?
to take a look, Zook.
You forget. It'd be a 15
That'll
plus
do it.
4, 19.
Examining the air bubbles, under further examination, they're not bubbles of air. They are very pale blue shells. They look like eggs set way back into the ice. They have very similar coloration to the snakes, which is why it looked like air bubbles at first, because the translucence of the ice makes the walls look blue, so they're hard to see. But yeah, there's some several hundred eggs set back into the wall of this room.
That's somewhat terrifying.
Ooh.
So I'm going to set all those eggs on fire.
That'll take several hundred turns, but yeah, go ahead.
Maybe we should defog the rest of this map.
Yeah.
Defog it out.
Well,
Yeah, I'll be in
let's-
front.
I'm gonna come right about here.
And you see 2 passages that branch off to the side. Each side.
Left or right?
I'll always go left.
Always go left.
No, always go right.
I got the rear.
This room
Oh, let's have Fred keep the prince since he's pretty much used all of his useful stuff.
Yeah, he can help the prince if... I mean, Eldove hands him off.
Oh, I put the prince in. We stashed him in room 4.
Does he leave anybody to guard him? You left Fred with him?
With us, so.
Yeah,
You
we
left-
left Fred with him.
That's fine.
Okay.
Fred...
Fred has a
No,
voice.
actually, absolutely not. Fred does not go for that. He's too curious. If anybody's going to guard him, it's not going to be Fred. Are you kidding?
I'm going to try to roll persuasion to convince Fred that the prince has many interesting stories that he can tell Fred while they're waiting there.
Does the prince actually have many interesting stories? Because if you're lying to
prince.
him, he will know within a minute. Well, I'm asking you because I don't know a lot of I don't know much about Prince Humbert's.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He has been on many a trading voyage. So
All right.
he's seen faraway lands.
You've convinced him. He stands back with Humberth. That'll be fine. Going into room number 6. This is a curious loop-shaped chamber, and you notice the already chill temperature inside of the shell drops even lower. Set into the flat side of the wall, back along this wall here of the inside of the loop. You see a small cavity. It's set high up in the wall, too high for Zook to reach. And
Damn it.
it's covered by the same kind of bone clasp door that Chamber 4 was blocked off with.
Can I see anything from the other side of it?
From the other side, it's solid wall. I mean, it's...
Oh, so the door is just against a wall.
Yeah, imagine like a medicine cabinet set back into the
Yeah,
wall
yeah.
of that side of the room.
Anyone want to let me stand on their shoulders to get a look at it?
You would have to. You would have to stand on somebody's shoulders
You
to
could
reach
roll
it.
one of those barrels in here.
Yeah, let's roll the barrel of blood. It didn't have a lid, though. So...
Yeah, we don't want to do that. No telling what that black powder is.
I think it's pepper.
It's a spice.
You know what we'll do? We'll give it to the cook when we get back, and he can use it in some of his cooking
Perfect.
on the open flames.
So what's happening with this door?
That sounds like a good idea.
Do we want to mess with that door, or do we want to check the other chamber first?
I guess the door seems secure enough. Let's search the other chamber first.
Okay.
All right.
Bonk.
And coming into this room here, this is just a hallway. Just leads deeper, coming off of the Sahagins' living quarters. Just goes deeper into the cave, and you see
You're done.
there are hooks lining the walls and the sides here. Hooks that are set up into the porous material of the walls, and on several of them they have impaled the frozen bodies of large fish, the sea mammals, and one of them appears to be a human torso.
Just a torso?
Just the torso.
That's lovely.
It's pretty gruesome. Yeah, this is their kitchen, basically.
Awesome. Well, I'm keeping
So I
on.
wonder why they didn't keep the pepper here.
Excellent question. Okay. Coming down into this room, this is a prison area, clearly. I mean, you've got another bone door. It's like right here. But, I mean, you can see on the other side, and it's pitch black in there, but you see forms. You see the shapes of people. And as you
I do have a
approach,
torch.
you hear hurried, frightened movement on the other side. You have a torch, but you'd have to hold it down under the door to illuminate the room.
Oh, okay. Zook, you want to do your magic?
Sure.
Zook doesn't know
Give me a
magic.
whack.
He a rogue.
Give me a whack at this door.
Go ahead and
You
make
want me to
your
cast fire on?
awesome thieves tool check that you get plus a million to. Are you serious? What did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
Again.
Okay, well
Actually,
you
I
don't
think
open
you
it.
last time.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a much more complicated door than the previous one. In fact, you fail so badly, you're pretty sure you can never open it.
God damn it. Is
You
it so
said-
small enough for me to crawl under it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we want to try anything else before I crawl under this?
Let's just force it open.
Yeah.
I'd rather
get out
not
of the
have
way.
you trapped there. I'll help.
Out of the
I've
way.
got
Go
I've got
for
high
it.
strength.
There's only enough space there for one of you. Aid is
Oh,
not
okay.
going to really do much for him because he's going to have to throw his shoulder into it. I mean, you can
Okay.
cheer him on, but
Hey, Zook,
Can I push
give me
him?
Zook, give me your crowbar. And I'll hand that to Adric.
Adric. Okay, Adric, make a strength check. Do so at advantage because you have a crowbar. DC 16.
Well, that was a nat 1, so I'm going to ignore that roll.
Yeah, ignore it. Unless you roll another 1. That'd be funny.
Let's see. 10 plus 4 is 14.
Is that it?
14, yeah.
You wedge the crowbar there, and what you think looks to be a weak part of the bone. You slam your shoulder against it a couple times. As you do, you hear the movement recede from the door. And you hear, like, the gasps of scared people inside. But the door refuses to budge. You're allowed to try again, though, because you didn't critically fail like Zook did, because Zook's just horrible. Why is he even here?
Yeah, I know, right?
Who invited him?
Let's do it again. Uno mas.
That 13 will probably
that 13
do it.
will do it. Yeah, plus
This
4,
time,
yeah,
you throw your
17.
shoulder in the door, and the bone clasps break aside. And as the torchlight fills the room, you see prisoners in here. Well, they're not shackled up, they're not tied down. They've just been locked in this room. But inside are Fila and the 2 sailors, plus 4 other people. 4 other fighters that were taken from one or both of the ships that were accompanying the Lady Darahild. And when she sees you standing in the door, Adric, Fila runs up and throws her arms around you and starts saying something in her strange exotic language that you don't know and that you take to be
lady.
gratitude.
Easy, lady.
I tried to pick the lock.
I'll tell her in her mind. It's all right now. Just relax.
Do I recognize any of the other people in the room?
They're commoners, so no, you don't. Are you kidding? I mean, if you weren't an asshole, probably.
Are they wearing the insignia of the prince?
Yeah, they're wearing... Well, I mean, they're not emblazoned with his sigil or anything. These are Marine fighters, but... Yeah, they're wearing the armor that you recognize. They're wearing the chain shirts and such that you recognize. And they're even still armed. They both have long swords at their sides. So they were taken and thrown in here with very little regard.
Do they look healthy enough?
They do. And they recognize you when you step into the room. And they walk up and greet you and they ask... for news of the prince. He was brought here with us.
Tell them that we rescued him from a spell from a sea witch earlier, and I'm going to explain to them how to get through the cave to where the prince is, and tell them to go guard him.
And 4 of them head off in that direction.
I'll tell the Armen and Fela. I'll tell them to go with him. I'll do it to her for the mind link, of course.
Okay, Fela seems very reluctant to leave the side of the party at this point.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I'll just tell her, look, it's going to be more dangerous with us than with them. We should see you in a few minutes.
She asks, how can you dodge danger in this situation? There's danger all around us.
Yeah, but I've seen everything back there. I haven't seen everything where we're going.
Do you physically remove her from your presence?
Are you saying I have to, or...?
You would have to. You would have to have somebody drag her away. She will not physically leave the area unless you go with her.
Can she speak my language?
No, she cannot.
Alright, okay. I'll just tell her in her mind to stay in the back and try and be small if anything happens.
She's very good at being small.
Curl up in a little ball and find a corner.
She's so good at being small, she does not even have a token.
That's
so
right.
What's through the rest of these cards here?
Looking in the last room.
Way. Sorry.
Yeah, they go the other way.
Yep.
I didn't line the cards up really good. You look in here, and it seems to be the priestess's private chambers, the Sahagin priestess that you murdered in cold blood. Although, to be fair, all Sahagins are cold-blooded, so...
Yeah.
It has no furnishings to speak of, but the wet skins and bones of large fish adorn the walls, grisly decorations. 2 alcoves split off the side of the room, and poking your head into them, you see choice pieces of meat that were afforded to the priestess from the fish and whales and things that they had hunted, according to her status. There is
magic?
Nothing magical.
Okay.
That's in the northern alcove. You see one of the corpses that she's maintaining here is a whole corpse of what looks to be a mermaid with a huge vertical gash going torn down her entire torso.
Is this one frozen or is it just on a hook?
It's just laying in a pile. Just choice. It's not on hooks. It's just meat and then this mermaid body laying there. The south alcove collects the treasures that she's accumulated. She doesn't really have anything of worth. You find a lot of bones.
Sorry.
You find the discarded clothes and things that she took a liking to. Among them is a shattered chandelier that she's got up against one of the walls. She had a harp with no strings. Again, anything that would have been beautiful in this place, any treasures that would have at one point been lovely to look upon, have been defaced in some way.
Zook sheds a very quiet tear.
Yeah, it's...
I guess that's just the bone chamber then. The medicine cabinet.
Yeah, that is the last that you've checked. I'm sorry, did you detect magic in this room, Destil? I forget if you asked.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I was gonna wait till we opened it.
Well, I mean, you
those
can
guys are
see
working on that.
into
I'm
the
gonna go
bone.
back.
Because,
Oh yeah, because it's got to be stopped by an inch of lead. So yeah, I guess I'll
yeah,
scan.
I mean, in between the bones, there's definitely magic radiating from inside.
Well,
Alright,
you guys
so-
are doing that. I'm going to go back and make sure everyone else is all right back here.
Okay,
All right,
Fila
maybe
is willing
start
to
getting
go back
people
with
onto
you.
the ship.
Okay.
Maybe start moving people and whatever you can loot. Don't forget that trident.
All right.
Okay, so you guys are going to start
I'm going
moving
to
all the
come
loot
with
to the
the
ship. Let me read off the loot real quick, Destil.
Yeah, I
Since
wanna
we
set
have
up the
people
party
working
loot.
on it now. Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of
I
that.
got it open.
2,600 pieces of copper. 1,200 pieces of silver. 60 pieces of gold. 90 gold worth of miscellaneous gemstones. And these gemstones, none of them are very pretty. You have a great amount of gemstones. Not like no individual gemstone will be worth very much. These are cloudy, broken gemstones, and there's nothing beautiful in this hoard. The spell scroll. You have a watertight spell scroll that's not yet been opened, and 1 potion of healing. And of course the keg of pepper that you found. This mysterious exotic spice you cannot wait to hand off to Arvin and try in your food.
Sweet Jesus.
The trident.
Yeah, you have the trident too. It is I described as a salmon-colored coral trident laid with pearls along the whole length of the staff. And this is the only object of beauty that you've seen in this entire place. This is the only thing that's fair to look upon.
And the Sea Witch didn't have anything?
The Sea Witch had nothing.
And that included breaking into this medicine cabinet?
You haven't gotten into the medicine cabinet yet.
Alright.
It's
Zook
still
me in
closed.
with this.
Alright, Zook. DC 12. Don't roll another 1.
Alright, hold on, let me get over here. And I'm trying to pick this lock here.
Yep.
Hey,
That'll do
look
it.
at 12.
Zook pops this one open really nice. Like, really easily. Much easier than the last door. He's got a little bit of his confidence back. Look inside. And... there's like an icy mist filling the inside of this cavity, but inside you find a series of small, round, faceted crystal jars that are ice cold to the touch. You find 5 of them. And they're all, like, they fit in the palm of your hand. They're kind of the size of, like a magic 8-ball. If you'd held a magic 8-ball in your hand. Like, maybe the size of a grapefruit would be a better... Why did my brain go to magic 8-ball and not grapefruit? I don't know, but the top of them, they have a cork stopper in the top, and the jar is radiating magic. There's 5 of these.
Okay.
Magic 8 fruit.
Magic 8 fruit, right.
And you said they were made of crystal?
Crystal glass, yes. They're faceted crystal glass.
Okay. And is there anything else in there? Is that it?
There was, 5 of those jars. That was it.
Okay. So yeah, we'll get all of the loot into the sled. Boat, has the ice started to melt at all yet?
When you poke your head outside, yes, the ice has started to melt. Actually, no. From your position, you would not know.
Okay.
You can't tell. But I mean,
would be...
you load everything up
kinda-
into the sled. At this point, Humbers has noticed that he's missing an arm, and he's very upset by this.
Fred probably told him, knowing Fred.
Fred's not cruel. He's disgusting at times, and he's crude, but he's not cruel. So, but no, Humber. I mean, it's easy enough. Humber would notice on his own, and that was his sword arm. He was one of the best swordsmen in the kingdom, and now he's missing it, and he is inconsolable for a few moments. But he tries to steel himself as is befitting of his station. But as you pull the sled, it's a longboat. As you pull it back across the ice, yes, it is receding back towards the shell, and eventually everybody has to pile in the boat.
Oh boy.
And row across this slush, which is very difficult to do. But in the interest of saving time, we'll say that you managed to do it.
Alright.
No problem. So let's go ahead.
Yay!
Let me get my... I mean, there's no more adventure left. That was it. But just for the sake of having the boat on screen here...
Did you get
Well,
my
just go ahead
IM
and put it
brick?
back. I did not. I'm sorry. Was it important?
No, not especially.
Are we going to do that?
Nah, I decided not to.
Okay.
So which room was I in again?
They put you up in room number 5, the captain's quarters. They got you in here. You have the nicest room on the ship.
I moved the prince into the captain's quarters.
Okay.
Yeah, that's as I expected. I will ask if any of the men that we rescued were the ship's navigator.
They were not.
Or are they all? Okay.
No, these are all marine fighters. In fact, it seems that Humberth was the only one taken off of the Lady Darahild.
Okay. They're from the
At one
ships.
point, they tell you the story, like they were beset by about 30 Sahagwin at least. But the Sahagwin were very disorganized, and they were not able to fight well in the thick fog, and they took many casualties. But the 4 of them were dragged off. And by the time you get back to your ship, you're rowing in cold water, and they hoist the longboat back up. So, that's the end of the session. Good adventure, everybody. Give yourself a round of applause.
Yay!
Yay!
Let's see here. Destil, you get a banana.
Sweet. I'm gonna put that on my character sheet.
Mr. Nodal, you get a banana. Yeah, I don't know where you should notate that on the character sheet. Let's figure out where we want to notate that. Where's a good
I'm just putting it
spot?
under equipment.
Equipment?
Banana 1, weight
The
0.
banana.
Yeah, do that. Just put banana in all caps under equipment so I can see it at a glance if you have one.
I'm gonna put it under my attacks and spellcasting because I intend to use the banana offensively.
Banana. I don't know if I
Possibly
explained to you,
offensively against us.
I don't know if I explained to you, Nodal, but I'm not keeping track of experience points for this game. Everybody goes up 1 level per session. We're just gonna make it nice and easy. So everybody gets to level up. I know, McClain, you don't have time to level. I know you gotta go. Thanks for hanging out so late, man. I know we went 4 hours
way
longer
beyond.
than I expected. I was
Yeah,
not.
what I'll do is next week at the beginning of the session before we start the stream live, I'll do my level up stuff then with you guys. But I
Well,
need to run right now.
Yeah, just do whatever you have spare time, because you can just update the character sheet and then it's automatically shared with me. So whenever you finish it, just shoot me a message on AIM or something and let me know.
Okay, we'll do.
Awesome.
I'm not a
Talk to you later.
crazy person, so I'll be taking the standard HP.
I always roll because
I never roll.
always
What is
roll.
this? What
Here-
is the standard? What's the difference between standard and rolling?
Rolling will screw
You
over.
get a very specific point amount of HP if you don't roll.
Alright,
Find a
guys.
new-
Here we go. There's my roll right there.
Boom!
Yes! I get 3 hit points.
3 hit points back.
Well done.
All right, so last session I asked for some feedback, and Nick said he would like a little bit more role playing and less combat, and I was going to give that to you guys, but then Nick said he's not going to be here this week, so I made a
Wasn't
dungeon
here
for you.
it.
Yeah,
But
no,
I think we had a lot of really good, just character-driven roleplay this session. It wasn't a roleplay session, but you guys drove the story quite a bit in the beginning. There was a lot more to that than I expect. I didn't expect for Nodal to care at all about War when Axe down in the hold or any of that.
Adric
So-
totally
Why
cares
would you
about
not
Lornex.
expect me to care about the horrible Dragonborn down in the hold?
I don't have any idea why I thought that. So, yeah, good jobs all around. Everybody
Yeah, do
deserves
something about
inspiration. McClain can't get inspiration because he spent his this session. Where do you put the gunpowder, Tarin? I mean the exotic pepper. Where do you
I'm gonna
put
bring
the?
that into the alchemy lab if we don't know what it is.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna have to identify these potions too.
What kind of skills do you have that would? Well, let me ask this first. Who has the key to that door?
I do. I have all the keys to the ship.
Can I
Actually,
use
no,
my-
you did not. You did not have the key to Gendred's quarters. Zook had to pick it in. Gendred
Oh,
warped away with
that's
it, so
right.
that door does
That's
not have a
right.
key. So just to be
Yeah,
clear,
I
you're
do have
putting
all the
the
keys.
you're putting the keg of exotic pepper in a room that can't be locked. Yes.
yeah. With
Okay.
the alchemy equipment. It seems like that's the most appropriate place for whatever this stuff is.